one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com /Wake Up Call DT. That's where you're listening to worldwide streaming radio. You're watching us on facebook.com /Wake Up Call DT, facebook.com /Live Now DT, and on youtube.com /Wake Up Call DT. So however you're connected with the show, we thank you so much for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life every single Monday through Friday, and of course all throughout the year. So we appreciate you being here inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, and Cafe Kubal coming to you in many different locations, making it very easy to come out to them and be able to enjoy some Cafe Kubal. A cup of coffee goes a long way, so make sure you head out to Cafe Kubal today, and you could go to any one of their locations, including 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, as well as inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse, on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners for their drive-through location in North Syracuse. And of course, you can get out to Cafe Kubal today by going to 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. So however you connect with Cafe Kubal, thank you for going out there today, and thank you for supporting local. It is imperative now more than ever to give back to our local businesses, and we thank Cafe Kubal for all they've done to give back to us. And like I said, how a cup of coffee, a cup of chai, how it goes such a long way to, being a part of our day. There was a time within the last 2 years where we couldn't go out and grab a cup of coffee. We couldn't go out and meet somebody and sit with them and have a cup of coffee with them. So may we never forget that, and may we always appreciate the opportunity to enjoy a cup of coffee with someone, enjoy a cup of tea with somebody at Cafe Kubal, because believe it or not, there was a time where that couldn't happen, and in the last 2 years, I'd like to say we've learned a lot. I hope we have, and it's imperative that we continue to keep that lesson top of mind, because it's been a long couple of years, and the people at Cafe Kubal and the people at all of our companies here in the community have been diligently working to try to help people out, and try to do good by people, and I appreciate that so very much, that we have great business owners that really go to the nth degree to try and help people, and don't just want to sell something. They actually want to make sure you're okay. They want to work with you, and they want to see how you're doing. So I want to thank all the great business owners in Central and Upstate New York that we're proud to work with, because they're so much more than businesses, and their families and just what they do in the community. It means a lot to me. So I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you today for being the difference. With that being said, inside of ModPawsPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', we'll be popping things off today, starting it off with the annoying moment of the week. Proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like, and they are our longest standing partner on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, with the longest standing segment with the annoying moment of the week. Then we'll jump into LEAD, which is my acronym that stands for Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. We'll be learning, evolving, ad-libbing, and delivering with the topic of today, that we're all equal under God. So the equality factor, right? The fact that some people feel equal, some people feel important, some people don't. Some people feel shut out. Well, in the eyes of God, everybody's the same. So we'll discuss that and the importance of knowing that you are no better nor any worse than anybody else. In a world that wants to maybe sometimes dictate to you who you are or what your value is, I want to remind you of your value today, because your value remains in the eyes of God. And it will never leave that. It will never leave, the eyes of God. And I think it's important to understand that our value is not in what people think of us. It's what God thinks of us. And I think we lose that a lot. So we'll talk about that today as we practice proper mental health and taking care of each other. It's all about being good here and all about staying positive, and it's all about being unapologetic about God. Just say the word God and to, some people, but it's like, why are you, it's like giving somebody a hug and having somebody be mad. It's like, God's a good thing. So we'll talk about God today. We'll talk about the fact that we're all equal and we're all connected. So That'll be in Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Then we'll jump in the top dog of the week, and that top dog will be announced today at 10 a.m. Eastern Time from Canine Kampground and Canine Camp Dog Boarding, Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, both in East Syracuse, right off of Bridge Street, right around the corner from one another for short and long-term care for your furry loving friend. And then we'll get into our exclusive first conversation with Matt Guinto. Matt Guinto just got hired as the Marywood University men's soccer head coach for the Pacers, and this is the exclusive first interview. He has done none other interviews, talked to nobody else until we had the opportunity to do this with him. So in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Marywood University, we get to bring you these special stories, and we also get to bring you exclusive content and really incredible conversations with some awesome people. So Matt Guinto, a native of Syracuse in central New York, joins me today in a very unique conversation as him and I celebrate being from the same place, growing up in the same place, appreciating a lot of the same things, and both being connected to Marywood University. So small world, and Matt Guinto will join us in just a little while at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time to tell his story in the exclusive first interview since being hired to Marywood University to be their men's soccer head coach. So a lot of great stuff coming up today where sports meets life. We appreciate you being here, and I thank you for being a part of the show. So with that being said, we're going to hop in to the first piece of today's broadcast, which is the annoying moment of the week. Proudly brought to you by Carvel DeWitt, and always happy to get into the annoying moment of the week here where sports meets that thing called life. The annoying moment of the week coming up right now.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy. I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week for this week, it actually just happened. So I was going to go, I was like, do I go here? Do I go there? We'll see where I go. Sometimes I surprise myself, and that's totally fine. My annoying moment of the week for this week, people who seem to make things way more difficult than they have to be. Okay? The people that hey, can we meet up and do this? Yeah, man, any day, any time, you let me know. And then you tell them a day and a time, I can't do that time. And then you say, okay, well, what about this time? No, I can't do that time. What about this time? No, I can't do that time. And then you're like, okay, well, give me a time that you can on Monday because, I just said Monday. Well, I can't do Mondays. Well, then why have we been talking about times on Monday for the last half an hour? I remember sending a message to somebody saying, I will see you, I'm just going to make it up here. I will see you April 11th at 1 p.m. And they wrote back to me, great, see you on April 11th, just give me the time. And that's, to me, it's a sign of the reality that people don't read things, right? Not everybody reads what you write to them. Some people do, thank God, but some people don't. Some people don't read what you write to them, right? Because they're just going and they got stuff going on and they're busy and they're going and they're, everything's too important and, just tell me the time. The time's right there. I just told you the time. The time is available for you. You could see the time. Oh my goodness, look, there it is. So, it's just insane to me that, we have these conversations, but this is reality, right? This is reality. This is what we, this is what some of us deal with. And I just dealt with this. I just said to somebody, hey, I'd love for you to be a part of this in the morning. And they were like, sure, when? And then I told them and they're like, I work in the morning. And I said, okay, well, then what about this time? Well, no, I have something else going on. Okay, so why don't you give me the time that works for you? And then they gave me the time, and I said, okay, so we're going to do it here. And they're like, well, why aren't we going to do it at the other location? because the other location is open in the morning and this location is open at nighttime. Like, you've made life extremely difficult, and now I'm telling you what the situation is. You know, hey Dan, can they open that up for me because I can only do it during this time? And it's like, we started the conversation with, can you do the morning? Yes. Okay, here's the time. Well, I can do this time. That's not the time of it. You know what I mean? It's crazy, and you're trying to help these people, right? You're trying to work with them. You're trying to figure it out. You're trying to make it all come together. But ultimately, you know, you can't always do it. And sometimes it's hard. And I just, you know, it gets really frustrating to have to do some of this stuff because people don't listen, right? They don't listen, or they think like, oh, he'll just do, you know, I could do this or that. But I'm blown away by somebody saying, I can meet with you in the morning. And then you give them a morning time and they say, I'm not available in the morning, I'm working. And then you look at it and you go, but you just said that you would meet me in the morning. But now you can't meet me in the morning because you can't do mornings. But you just said you could. It doesn't make it. There's nothing. And the frustration of that is, it's like, dude, don't make me have to figure something out for a day that you're not available for. Right? I've done that before. You know, you do that. You're like, hey, can you do April 14th? And it's like, give me a time. And then it's like, nah, man, I'm on vacation that whole week. Then how could I have possibly given you a time? Like, in what world? Just pay attention for a second to the person that you're talking to. And that's really the annoying moment of the week, right? You're not paying attention, right? You're not engaged enough with the people that you're talking to. You know, another annoying moment of the week to go with that is, you know, the people that meet you that, you know, like, they're unimpressed by, you know, they meet you, but they're unimpressed by you, but it's not you. They're just like that to everybody. They're just like unimpressed with that. They're always on to the next thing. They shake your hand and they're not listening to a thing you're saying because they don't care and they've just moved on. I've done that to somebody before when someone's like one of those people and they're like, oh, great to meet you. And I say, great to see you again. Because I've already met you before. You know, and I feel like, yes, we get busy. And I tell people all the time, don't talk to me about busy, right? Don't tell me, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, yada, 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 yada. Because I live in that world, okay? I didn't get up from I did the broadcast, right? So sitting here in front of the computer, did the broadcast with you yesterday. I did not leave my computer outside of going to the bathroom or grabbing some food to bring back over to the computer. I was on the computer from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. A whole day's work, right? 9 to 5. And so I don't want to hear that from people of like, oh my gosh, I have so much work I have to do and I do so many things and I'm just too busy for everybody. No, you're not. You're not too busy for everybody. You're saying you're too busy for everybody, but you need to find the time to figure out, you know, if you're going to engage someone, engage somebody. Right? And we're all, you know, guilty of that, right? You know, doing a million things. I did that yesterday. I'm trying to talk to somebody. I was reading through something and I realized I'm not paying full attention. I need to step back and I need to pay attention to what they're saying because this is important to them. And if it's important to them, it's important to me. You know? So the annoying moment of the week is take that time, right? Take that time to care. Take that time to listen. Take that time to engage somebody and don't waste somebody's time. And that's really the biggest thing for me is don't waste my time. If you waste my time, if you're an energy sucker, then I'm out, right? I don't deal with people that waste my time. You know, I know in a meeting, if I'm at a point where I'm like, this is not going anywhere, this isn't accomplishing anything, and I'm done with it. And I know that. And I don't sit around in those situations because I have no desire to be around it. You know, when the conversation's over, the conversation's over, and that's how I feel about it. So in my world, once I'm done, I'm done. You know, and it is like I can't stand. Thank you, Greg. I cannot stand when somebody wastes my time. You know, and it's listen, right? Okay, how about this? Let me paint you a picture. My morning show is 9 to 11. 9 to 11. Y'all know that, right? Monday through Friday, 9 to 11. That has not changed in 3 years, 4 years? So 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. If anything, right, we'll extend out, Sometimes we extend out. A lot of times we extend past 11. We might extend past 11 today. But I try to make it 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and that's what we do, okay? So when I say to a guest, for example, right, we've had over 3,000 people on the show, so we're going to have somebody who's, I don't know, not paying attention or whatever, and I say the show's 9 to 11. 9 to 11, 9 to 11, 9 to 11. I can do 8 to 9. I'm sorry. The show's that's like driving up to a restaurant that opens at 11 a.m. and going, I can have breakfast at 10, Cracker Barrel. I can do breakfast at 10. And let's just pretend Cracker Barrel opens at 11. I can do breakfast at 10. And Cracker Barrel's going, good for you. You then go get some Cookie Crisp. What do you want me to talk? We're not opening at 10 for you. We're not doing that. You can't walk in I don't even know if McDonald's does this anymore because I don't pay attention. But if McDonald's doesn't, like breakfast used to end at 10 o'clock. Breakfast, McDonald's doesn't go, oh, it's noon and you want it? Sure, you can have it. Yeah, we'll change the line. We'll bring out all the breakfast stuff we just put away 2 hours ago because that's what you want. It's this world of some people are selfish, some people don't pay attention, some people don't care. The show's from 9 to 11. I can do 8 to 9. No. No. Well, I'm available this time and this time. And whenever you need me, and then I'm going to tell you the 47 things that I'm doing that I'm not available for. Okay, so just tell me when you're available. Okay, I'm available at this time. Great. So we'll do it here. Well, why can't we do it here? You said if we did it in the morning, we were going to do it here. But now at the night, we're doing it in a different location because that place isn't open. That's not how things work. And to be it, the place that is open has to extend out later to appease you. And they're willing to look at doing that because you asked. You know what I mean? So some places will even go, okay, you know what? Let's see what we could do. But it is like the people that, it's like growing up and you got somebody in your family, right? And someone, you'll get in the car with the whole family. And then somebody will say, where are we going to dinner, right? And then somebody else will go, I don't care, you pick, I'm just hungry, you pick, I have no care in the world, I'm not bothered by anything, whatever you pick, I'm good with, I'm not picky. And then you name off 27 places and they say no to every single one of them. Just pick. So I tell people, when somebody's picky, I say, you pick the place. And I'll deal with it, right? I'm not picky. Unless it's something I really don't want that day, like I have to be in the mood for Chinese food. I can't just eat Chinese food. I have to be in the mood for Chinese food. This is the 4th month of 2022. I've eaten no Chinese food because once or twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, if I'm feeling squirrely, I get a hankering for Chinese food. But outside of that, I'm not eating Chinese food. I'm just not, And I might have pizza a couple times in a week, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break from pizza. I'm gonna try something different. I like to mix it up, and that's how I am. I'm not picky. I just don't want to eat the same thing every day. And there's certain foods that I got to be in the mood for, but to me, that's not picky because I could have salad, I could have soup, I could have pizza, I could have chicken, I could have steak, I could have fish. Like, I'm not picky. Just tell me where you want to go and we'll figure it out. But there's those people that are like, hey, we'll go wherever you want. I don't care. Your choice. I've had people do that on my birthday. Where do you want to go, Dan? It's your special day. It's so special. It's your special day. Where do you want to go? And then I pick a place and it's like, can we go somewhere else? And then you pick another place and you're like, I'm actually feeling fish today. I'm really wanting to try that new fish spot. And I'm like, well, that's great. We can do that on your birthday. But it's my birthday. So you want me to celebrate my birthday on a day where I get to choose where we eat at a place that I don't want to eat at with food that I don't want. Sounds good. Sounds like we're celebrating your birthday on my birthday. But we all know those people, right? We all know those people. So really the theme of today is just selfishness, right? someone gives you an opportunity and you make it almost impossible to create that opportunity in real life, right? I would like to involve you with this. Sure. And when somebody leaves an open door, like, sure, when? Like, I'm totally available. And then nobody's totally available. You know what I mean? Or I shouldn't say nobody, but that person's not totally available. You know, and that's reality. If you're not available, then you're not available. If you are available, then you are available. But don't tell people that you're available when you're not, because it becomes frustrating when we're like, okay, let's do this. Well, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about... And it's like, if you want to piecemeal it all together, then you figure it out yourself. But that's not how it works. It's like me going to Delta going, hey, Delta, I need to take a flight to New York City. I would not like to take your 6 a.m., and I wouldn't like to take your 5 p.m. I would love to go at noon. So can you have a plane come here at noon to pick me up? Because I would like to go at noon by myself. That's okay, right? You don't mind having a plane just for me. I mean, come on, guys. So, my annoying moment of the week. Selfishness and insanity. Insanity! I'm trying to plan a day around you. Give me the time you are available. Give me the days you are available. And I will make work what I can with the information you give me. But I'm not going to be able to have this place open, this place, this place. And I'm not going to... Just tell me the time. When are you free? There's 24 hours in a day. Do you have 1 hour? Okay? And we'll figure it out. That's how I look at things. You know? I don't make life hard on people because it doesn't need to be. We overcomplicate life so much, and it's evident and it's so prevalent in our society that we overcomplicate life. And some people like say they're busy because they want to look busy, and I those people are wonderful because it's like you're sitting at home doing nothing, but you think business is about making everybody think you're busy. How about this? How about if you're going to make everybody think you're busy, how about do something, right? Like when I'm busy, I'm busy. And I'll still answer your phone call. I was doing 2 or 3 different things at the same time yesterday. My buddy called me. We hadn't talked in a while. I felt bad that we hadn't talked in a while, so I picked up the phone and spoke with him and still tried to get a few things done while I was talking with him. Don't be one of those people that's got to tell everybody you're busy so you create this world where people think like, oh, well, they must be really important because they have something going on like every hour of every day and they're just sitting at home watching TV. Like, that is such a waste of time. If you want to pretend you're busy, how about you actually get busy and do something? You know? It's just, I can't deal with this world of like, we got to make everything difficult. It doesn't need to be that difficult. It doesn't need to be that hard. Okay? Some of us have forgotten the last 2 years where we couldn't do anything. We need to remember those days, on the days that we're making things outrageously difficult for no reason, and we're being completely irrational and illogical. Yeah, I'd love to do the morning, but I can't do anything in the morning. But I'd love to do the morning. And I'd love to be at this location at night that is the location for the morning that I can't do. No. I'd like to be at Animal Kingdom at 11 o'clock at night, riding Expedition Everest. But sometimes they close at 8 o'clock. I would love to be there, but I can't be. I can't go to the entrance of Animal Kingdom going, hey, can you guys stay open for me for 3 more hours? Because I really like it. So if you have an annoying moment of the week, share it with us in the feed. Facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, and on YouTube.com/wakeupcalldt. The live feeds are there for you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you ever have an annoying moment of the week, you can send it to us at any point during the week, including during the actual annoying moment of the week segment on Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you shoot them over to us. I could easily tell you that my allergies are the annoying moment of the week, but they've been an annoying moment of the week for many a time. So they still are. They still are, but I was not going to repeat them as the annoying moment of the week. But I hope that you're doing well in this season of change, and I hope that things are going well and that you're staying safe if you do have allergies. I hope that they're getting better, and that everything is going right for you. But yes, the annoying moment of the week. Reading through text messages, sometimes you get to a point where you're just like, I don't even want to figure this out. I don't even want to figure it out now. Because, like, dude, just tell me. Just give me the information that I'm asking for. You know what I mean? And it's as simple as that. Also, my other annoying moment of the week is I bought something online from a store that's like a reputable store that's been around for a very long time. And they sent me my order number, but they didn't send me a tracking or shipping number. And I'm trying to figure out, when am I supposed to get this stuff? So I'm hoping that one of the emails, nope, that wasn't the one. But I was hoping that they would email me and kind of like tell me, hey, guess what? This is when you're getting your stuff. But yeah, I got an order status that the order was received. You'll be hearing from us soon, and thanks again for shopping with us. So I have not heard from them yet, and I wanted to know when they're actually going to ship my clothes to my home, because I'm very excited about them. So that was fun, because normally you get, and maybe I'm spoiled in that respect, but normally you get that message, right? You get like the, you got it, and then they tell you when they're shipping it. And I had to buy some equipment for the studio, and like this is during the pandemic, and I ordered it. And then they were like, it's going to be here. It's going to be with you. It's going to be to you in less than 3 days. And I was like, for real? Because like everything was taking a long time. And it wasn't through like Amazon or anything like that. It's like, yeah, we're going to have this to you. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it did. It was at my doorstep. And then the other thing came. And I was just like, wow, this is super, super fast. So maybe I was spoiled a little bit on how quick the other one came through. But hopefully I'll be getting an order notification that it's been shipped out soon, because I got some exciting things that I may be wearing on the show that I'm excited about. So a lot of great stuff coming up here where Sports Meets Life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Always happy to be here with you. And please, if you're one of those people that acts like you got an open board and an open canvas, you can do whatever you want, and then after a while there's 700 things that aren't available, just tell somebody, just help us, guide us along, because we would like to know the information so that we could do the things that we need to do and move forward. With that being said, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we thank you so much for being on the show with us, and cannot thank you enough for being a part of Where Sports Meets Life every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll take a step aside for a fast break, and when we come back, we'll be here with Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, with Juanita Ward speaking on this week's topic, that we are all equal under the same God. I'm going to say God, because we can't be afraid to say it, especially in today's world. We are equal, we are family, and we are talking about it right after this.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, hanging out inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, and always happy to have you here where sports meets life on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, and of course on youtube.com, facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt, and secondary location on facebook.com/livenowdt. So however you're connecting with the show, we thank you so much for being here and appreciate you. Thanks to Greg, who said, have a great weekend, Dan. Great weekend, DT. We'll make every effort to check in next week from sunny South Carolina. Yo, man, have a good time in South Carolina. I'm guessing you're going down there with your family, so I hope you have a fantastic time down in South Kakalaki. And I big fan of South Carolina. Been to Myrtle Beach, been to Charleston, and definitely a big fan. I want to go back down to Charleston soon. So big shout out to you, Greg. Thank you for all the positivity as always, and always being a part of the show. Thanks to all of our listeners and viewers that take the time every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and for all of you that go and check us out in the archives as well. I very much appreciate that. When you head off to Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, MixLR, YouTube, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Podbean by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. So big thanks to each and every single one of you that do that. And Greg, I hope you have a great time down in South Carolina, wherever you're going to be heading in South Carolina. So with that being said, I am always honored and privileged around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time every single Friday to have Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, featuring my sister, Miss Juanita Ward, motivational speaker, author, fantastic human being, a proud child of God, somebody who never shies away from it, talks about it, and puts herself out there trying to help others, uplift others, and give others the opportunity to understand that there is a path, there is a way, a truth, and a life. And we know that that's Jesus. So with that being said, we are all equal to God. We are all equal as one. And that is our topic of today. And I am so grateful, as always, to be uplifted by the fantastic spirit of Juanita Ward. Let's bring her in. Juanita, how are we doing today?
Hey, Dan, how's it going, man?
It's going good, and you know what? In today's world, Juanita, in this week, I just found myself, just looking at things saying, wow, why do things feel so crazy? Why do they feel so hard? And, and I was like, God, I know you're here. Sometimes we feel suffocated. Sometimes we feel like we can't breathe. Sometimes we feel like we can't see. Sometimes we don't want to get out of bed. But God is here. And I'd love to start there. Why do you believe that God is here? Why do you know that God is here in a world that seems to just get crazier sometimes, and a world that makes us anxious and stressed? Why do you believe that God is here?
Well, the question that I guess I can start this off like this. It's not why I believe, it's I know that God is here. It's just simple. You take off the why. There's not a why. There's a I know. I know because I can feel him every day I wake up. I always say the same thing over and over and over because I need my spirit to know that I know who I represent. You're a walking billboard. And everybody tries to figure out God. Everybody wants to know why this, why that, why this, why that. It's not about the why. It's about the knowing. When you know who God is, you have a relationship with him, just like you know your mom, just like you know your dad. You know who they are because they have physically been revealed to you. And because of the relationship that I have with God, that I have with Jesus, makes things so comfortable. The relationship that I have with the Holy Spirit makes things so comfortable. There is a relationship. You cannot have God without Jesus. You can't have Jesus without the Holy Spirit. And there's such a surreal moment. Every morning I wake up, I have to give God, I have to give him praise. I got to tell Jesus how much I love and adore him. I have to tell the Holy Spirit how much I appreciate him being my helper, walking me through this day, being a reminder, because as I'm reminded in the word says, Jesus told his disciples, I'm about to leave. He told them, I'm about to go. But before I do, I got to send you somebody because I know that you're going to need somebody here with you. I wish that I had the opportunity to walk with Jesus and physically touch him, but the fact that he said, I'm going to send you a helper, I'm going to send somebody here to help lead you, guide you, bless you, and protect you, bring back to your remembrance, comfort you, teach you. I wake up every single day knowing that the person that I'm in love with is all-knowing, is ever-present, is everywhere at one time. You wake up with a smile, that's the presence of the Lord. You wake up with joy, that's the presence of the Lord. You wake up with gladness, with goodness, with faithfulness, with gentleness, that's the presence of the Lord. Your mindset is set right, that's the presence of the Lord. The trees are swaying back and forth, that's the presence of the Lord. The sun has come up, that's the presence of the Lord. I am in awe with him. I am in love with him. I just wake up with a joy every single day knowing that he's given me another day to fulfill the purpose that he's given me for this day. We should all wake up with the gladness of joy. We should all wake up rejoicing in the Lord and then rejoicing again and again. We should all wake up letting our gentleness be known to everybody that the Lord is at hand. We should all wake up and not be anxious for anything, but we should pray and have supplication and be thankful because we are letting our requests be known to God that we love him, we adore him, we thank him. Thank you for giving us purpose, because when I wake up in my right mind, I'm waking up to things that are true, things that are noble, things that are just, things that are pure, things that are lovely. I'm waking up to whatever is of good report. If there is any virtue in me, Dan, any virtue in you, anything praiseworthy, guess what we have to do? We got to meditate on that. We got to think about that day and night, over and over. And guess what? By doing all of those things, Dan, we'll go about this day with peace. Because the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, lives inside of us. Because we are giving honor, because we are being happy, because we are smiling, because we have a unique soul. We are saying, God, I can do all things through you because you give me strength. We're waking up with a thankful heart. So for me, it's not about the why. It's about the in love. When you're in love with something, when you're in love with someone, you do everything you can to feel a touch. You can't stay away from them. You need them. So it's not about the why for me. It's an everyday thing. And I know it's not about the why for you because every single day we wake up wanting, seeking a touch from our Heavenly Father.
And that's a beautiful thing. Like you said, in love, and I love that. I really do. To be in love with God, right? To be in love, to need God to touch you, to hold you, to know you, to talk with you, to be there when you get up, to reach out and know that he's there. You know, God, and that's the thing, you know, we look at success, right? People look at success and they say, okay, you know, I succeeded in this, you know, I asked God for this and I succeeded in it. And it's like, okay, well, do you talk to him now? Do you talk to him now that you succeeded? Do you talk to him after that thing that you were really worried about went away? Do you come back to him and say thank you? Or do you just go on to the next ask? Right? Are you constantly looking? Nobody wants to be in a relationship where it's take. And God's used to that. He's used to people taking, not giving. But what do you give back? What do you give back? What are you trying to give to others, to God? What are you putting back in to society? What are you putting into your relationship with God? Hey, God, good morning. I need something. Hey, God, good morning. I need something else. How about, hey, God, thank you for waking me up today. Thank you for giving me another opportunity. Thank you for giving me a chance to do things right that maybe I did wrong yesterday. Thank you, God, for giving me an opportunity to see my dog again, to see my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my mom, my dad, my best friend. Thank you, God, for a chance to just get up. Thank you that I have my legs. Thank you that I have my arms. Thank you that I have my eyes. Thank you that I have my ears. Thank you that I have the ability to go out and make a difference. Thank you. I got a ton of clothes in my house, Juanita. I got way too many clothes. I'm not saying that to boast. I just have way too many clothes. And I've been saying to myself, I want to do something with these. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, I could go on like Poshmark or one of those things and I could sell them. And I could try and make money off these clothes, right? Because they're in good shape. And then I thought to myself, why do I need to make money off these clothes? Why can't I just give them to somebody that needs them? I don't need to make money off of them. Why don't I need to give them to someone who needs these clothes? I've had them. Right? God has blessed me. I have worked hard with God to make sure I can pay my bills and do the things I need to do. Why do I need to make money off of these? What I need to do is I need to drop them off to people that don't have the money to buy clothes so that they can have them. So I got a bag full of clothes in my living room. And I'm sure I could fill a few more bags full of clothes and bring them where I need to bring them, to the church, to the rescue mission, wherever it needs to go. But what can we do to pay it forward? What can we do to give back? God, thank you. Thank you for blessing me and over blessing me and blessing me on top of blessing me. But now I can help to bless somebody else, right? I can give back. I can give. People look for angles, right? What's the angle? What's the angle? There is no angle. I got a bag full of clothes that I'm not going to wear, that I didn't even remember that I had, and here you go. You know what? Let this clothe somebody somewhere that needs it most. Let somebody have that. There's a clothes with tags on them. Let somebody take this and be able to go to a job interview. Let somebody take this and be able to be warmer when they sleep at night. If you're giving this to homeless people, then let them have an extra layer. We are so quick to say, God, what can you do for me? Instead of saying, God, what can I do for you? You're all knowing, you're all powerful. You don't need me to have power. You don't need me to have whatever. Like, you are everything. But what can I do to spread your message? What can I do to help things be better? How can I give to you? That's the question, right? Because there was a time where you needed something. There was a time where you needed somebody. There was a time when you hoped somebody was dropping off a bag of clothes. There was a time where you hoped the soup kitchen was open. There was a time where you didn't have that girlfriend that became your wife or that boyfriend that became your husband, and you felt lonely and you felt lost. There was that time when one of your friends was in the hospital due to COVID and you didn't know if they were going to get out. There was a time where your mom had to go through surgery and she had to be under for 3 hours and you didn't know what was going to happen. There was a time where your grandmother woke up that day that you didn't think she was gonna. There was a time where you needed something, somebody. And we forget that so quickly when we got it, right? When we got it like that. Well, guess what? God has a way of reminding you when you didn't have it and then you got it and you didn't appreciate that you had it, that you don't have it no more. And it's imperative for us to always pay it forward, to see what we can do to help. Because people pray all the time, but how many times do you say thank you in that prayer? I try to make it a point to say, hey, this is on my mind, God, and it's stressing me out, but let me first say thank you. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my friends. Thank you to do what I love and love what I do. Thank you for my home. Thank you for Lily. Thank you for love. Thank you for peace. Thank you for nice weather. Thank you for blue skies. This is what's on my mind, God. But I didn't want to say it before I said thank you. And Juanita, to go off of that, just what your thoughts are, because so many times we ask. But how many times do we say, thank you? Thank you for the fact that I'm even here to ask for anything.
When you think about asking, there's nothing wrong with asking God for something. What happens is, it's how you're asking. It's the heart of how you're asking. If you're asking God from a heart of worry, if you're asking God from a spirit of doubt, if you're asking God from a spirit of fear, it's how you're asking. It's how you're presenting it to Him. There's a certain way that you have to present yourself to Him, right? He says to us in the Word, God says, I've not given you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And He's talking to people that have accepted Him into His life. Think about this, Dan. You can't just go into Chick-fil-A and say that you are the CEO or say that you are an employer at Chick-fil-A when you have not been employed by Chick-fil-A, nor have Chick-fil-A's board said that you was the CEO, right? There's a person named that is the CEO. I mean, the person that's the head of the head. And then there is the workers, the employers. And if you have not been employed, sign your agreement, sign your contract. They've given you the recognition that you are a Chick-fil-A member as far as being employed in Chick-fil-A. You can't just go around receiving the benefits that Chick-fil-A gives to the employers or that Chick-fil-A gives to the CEO. Would you agree with that, Dan?
Yeah.
So, what am I saying? In order to receive the benefits and in order to receive the blessings that God has for His children, you have to know Him. First and foremost, you have to accept Him into your life. We say the sinner's prayer all the time because we want to lead people to Christ. And we want people to know who He is. You have to accept and acknowledge who He is. You have to accept Jesus Christ into your life. Everybody wants to receive the benefits from Him, but not accept Him and not align with His word. Everybody wants to use God as a genie in a bottle. Tell me how I can be better. Tell me how I can get the thorn out of my side, but I still want to do what I want to do, how I want to do it. And so the same cycle keeps repeating itself. And the same cycle keeps repeating itself. I got to be clear with this. God is not a genie in a bottle. He is a sovereign God that sent His only begotten Son to this world. Not to condemn the world, but that the world might be saved through Him. But you have to accept Him into your life. You have to receive Him into your life to receive the benefits and the fruit thereof. Because if you're outside the family, Dan, like in your family, right? An outsider can't come into your family and just say whatever they want to say and dictate however they want to dictate. They're not considered a family member.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Family members can talk to family members because family members identify with family members. But if there's an outside person that comes into the family that wants to receive all the benefits of the family starts looking and saying, wait a minute, you're not a part of the family. But here's how you can become a part of the family. You can either marry into the family. You can become someone's close friend, and then they start to consider you family. You could join a relationship. You could develop a relationship with the family. There are multiple ways that you can become a part of the family. But the most important thing about becoming a part of Jesus' family is you have to accept Jesus into your life. You have to accept Christ into your life. If you want the thorn to get out of your side, you got to accept Jesus into your life. If you want this day to become a better day, you have to accept Jesus into your life. And you have to know that by accepting Jesus Christ into your life will change. The way you think will change. The way you act will change. The way you dress will change. The way you talk should change. Because when you accept Jesus Christ into your life, you do not have the same mindset. You are not conformed to the world, but you are now transformed. Your mind is now being renewed. Your mind is now being strengthened. Because what you start to realize is the more I get deeper into who God is, the more I start to understand who Jesus is, the more I start to realize who I am in Christ Jesus. Most people can quote the scripture and they find something to get themselves out of trouble, but they end up right back into the same trouble that they was in.
Yeah. Because
they did not accept Christ into their life, and they did not have enough fuel to sustain them. They put gas into the car, but all of a sudden, the fuel went empty. And they thought that they could just use God for the lavish lifestyle. But continuously hitting the same bump over and over and over. When you accept Christ into your life, all things become new. Your mindset, your whole approach, the way you think about things. You don't have the same old mindset that you used to have, because now you realize that there is something different in my life. I feel different. I'm acting different. You don't have to have a show of negativity for it to sell. You can have a show of positivity, showing people that, listen, just because there is something negative going on doesn't mean that I have to sell you on that. Doesn't mean that I have to continue to use that as a tactic for you to hear me. I can speak positive so that you can hear how to be blessed. Because what God doesn't do is he doesn't keep you in the same cycle. He plants a seed, and the seed is supposed to bear forth its fruit. So that you can hear how to be blessed being planted. Because the purpose of the seed is not to stay a seed. The purpose of the seed is to develop what is on the inside so that what's on the inside can come and bear forth its fruit. It can sprout. But if you continue to stay in the same mindset, in the same cycle, you got to ask yourself the question, have I accepted Christ into my life? And if I have, did I leave him? And if I did, God, forgive me. Because I know you never left me. God, forgive me because I left you, and now all of these things are happening because I left my help. I left my strength. I left my armor. But I don't know what I have. I don't know what I have because I really have not developed a relationship with you.
Yeah.
In order to have a healthy relationship, it is important. It is essential that you get to know the person that you're in a relationship with fully before all of the pleasure. You cannot get into it. You can, and then you find out some things later. But the most important thing is to get into the relationship and develop a healthy relationship. And how do you develop a healthy relationship? The number one thing in a healthy relationship is communication.
Yeah.
Because the more I can know what you like, the more you can know what I like, the more we start to make this connection. And then I start to fall in love with the things that I've prayed for. I start to fall in love with the things and the qualities that I've prayed for, with the blessings that I've prayed for. You fall in love with those things. And that's the same thing with God. If you test him and try him, the thorns that are in your side, the stuff that we talk about all the time, well, this is happening, that is happening, this, all of that, God will say, you know what? I got the peace that you've been needing. I've just been standing here waiting on you to come to me. And I'm going to end it with this. If God can turn Saul into Paul, what do you think he can do for your life?
Yeah.
Saul, before he became Paul, was a murderer of Christians. And he was faithful in what he did. But one day, God said, okay, now is the appointed time that I'm going to really get you. I'm really going to grip you. Now, Saul, is your appointed time. I've been with you this whole entire time. Through your bad, I've been with you. Through the good, I've been with you. Because I'm omnipresent. I'm everywhere at one time. And if God can turn Saul into Paul, Saul was a murderer of killing Christians. God can turn anything around in your life if you let him. But I can tell you this. God knows what he has in all of us. And no matter how we try to control a situation, no matter how we feel that we have so much control, God already has an appointed date for everything that goes on in our life. He knows everything. When God gets ready to call you in, he got a hook in you. He's going to bring you in just like he did Saul and turned him into Paul. Saul went from killing Christians to now being a follower of Jesus and saving souls. He went from killing Christians to now joining the Christians. God can take you from your problems to your blessings in a blink of an eye. All you have to do is trust the process. Trust him. So the question is not why. The question is, or the answer is just simply this. God, just use me. However you want to use this vessel, use me.
Yeah.
Because I'm in love with you.
You know, and that's the thing, the equality factor, right? We're all equal under God. Same maker. Come from the same place. All equal. No matter what. And knowing that we're no better than anybody else. We're no worse than anybody else. We are a child to a father. A father that you wouldn't go to your dad, or you shouldn't go to your dad. Maybe some of you do. You shouldn't go to your dad and go, Dad, can I have $5? Can I have $5? Can I have $5? Every day. Can I have $5? Can I have $5? Can I have $5? Because eventually your dad's going to go, you know what? You need to work for it. Or, not today. And they say God has 3 answers to every prayer. Yes, not right now. And no, because I have something better for you down the road. We don't always get the answer we want. But if I got all the answers I wanted from God, I wouldn't have the life I have today. If God gave me what I asked for every time, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be with the right people. I wouldn't be around the right people. I thought I knew better. Boy, did I not. We are equal. We are kids. I'm not going to ask my dad and my mom growing up for money every single day, all day long. Know who you are. Know your worth. Never let anybody take that from you. And understand that God can give you anything and everything. But he will take away something or not give that thing because he knows better than you do. There's a lot of things we unpack in today's lead. There's a lot of things to talk about. And that's why we do it every Friday at 9:30 right here on Wake Up Call, presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Because there's always more work to be done. And there's a God that has you in the palm of his hand. Not a God of fear, not a God of chaos, not a God of doubt, but a God of love, a God of understanding, a God that knows you better than you know yourself, a God that called you by name and you are his. So you matter. You all matter. Every single one of you matters to God. You all have a place. And Juanita and I will do everything we can to take whatever message God has and share it with you. Because it is not our message at the end of the day. It's his. And it's in trying to help each other forward. I don't want to go to the kingdom of heaven by myself. I don't want to be there by myself. I want y'all to come with me. And so that's each day finding a way to say a word, open a door, say a prayer, do something, one good thing a day to just try. Because somebody's watching and somebody cares and you're never alone and you all matter. And today may not be easy, but we'll figure it out together like a family does. Juanita, as always, thank you for being my sister and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Dan. And I just want to leave this with you before we go. The most important thing is, in order to be a part of the family, you have to accept the family. In order to be a part of the team, you have to accept Jesus Christ into your life. God loves everybody, but he also gave us a choice. And he also gave us a command. If you accept the Lord thy God into your life, if you accept Jesus Christ into your life, you will be saved. So we have a choice. Everybody is not a part of the team. But when you accept Jesus Christ into your life, you become a part of the team. There are some outsiders. And everybody cannot receive the same fruit. Everybody can't receive the same blessing. And it is very important to be very, very clear when we're talking about Jesus. Because when we talk about God, we have to, which means go into the world and change people that don't know me. Change them to know who I am. Because I have so much good for them. So when we talk about loving everybody, we love everybody. But we must make a distinguish between being in the world and being a Christian. It's two totally different things. Yes, you're either a boy or you're either a girl. You either have a different skin tone or you have a different skin tone.
Yeah.
But the reality is the truth. You have to accept the Lord Jesus Christ into your life to be saved. You have to accept him. And when you accept him, that thorn that's in your side will be removed. And that's the most important thing. Accepting Jesus into your life so that you can bear forth the fruit that he has for you. There is a distinguish, because what a lot of people have done is they've minimized God to make him fit who they think he should be. And we have to keep respect for the Almighty, for the all-knowing God. He is not the same as everything else. He is so much separated because he sits up high and looks down low. God is the judge. We are not. We're to go into the world in love, because love is the greatest gift. It conquers a multitude of sin. So we have to make the distinguish. When you accept the Lord Jesus Christ into your life, you are saying, I am separating myself from the world, and I'm now becoming a new creation in Christ Jesus. Thank you so much, Dan. I love you. I appreciate it, man. And I love the way we can speak boldly about the Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you as always, Juanita, for everything. And make sure that you go and check out Juanita on her social media and all different ways to connect with her. And I will succeed. Make sure you check that out. Head off to Amazon and grab yourself a copy today. Juanita, as always, thank you for all that you do. And thank you for being a part of my family and for always reminding me that you never do it alone. So I appreciate it. I send you my love, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Take care, man.
Take care. That coming from Juanita here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we spin back around, it is time for us to jump into the top dog of the week. And I got an interesting way of doing it this week. You'll find out how right after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life, inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career, it's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Inside the Cafe Kubal Studios, Cafe Kubal on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse. Inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse. And, of course, on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location of North Syracuse, and on 343 Fayette Street in their giant behemoth of a brown-striped building in Manlius, New York. I call it the Manlius Welcome Center. So make sure you head out to Cafe Kubal today. I will be doing so because I put my money where my mouth is and I want some chai. So I'll be out there today, and I look forward to seeing you out there as well. It is now time inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin' to announce our top dog of the week. Our top dog of the week proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And my top dog of the week this week is truly a dog. My top dog of the week this week, as we give honor to someone who I believe truly deserves it every single week, who should be talked about and who should be celebrated. Well, I celebrate this monster every single week of my life, I'd like to think. But she is my top dog of the week this week, and that is Miss Lily, my little girl. My top dog of the week this week. So I'm giving her top dog of the week because she's been through a little bit over the past couple months, and she's definitely had not, the easiest go around of a couple things, and, gave Papa a little scare a couple months ago, and, she's been good and she's been okay. She just went to the doctor and her health is good and she's good and everything's been going well for her. So I'm just honored and I'm privileged. And I know I talk about Lily all the time on the show, and, I work a lot and I have a lot of things that I have to do. And, we always feel like we can do more for our pets and be there more for those that we love. And so I just want to honor the goose today because she's such a good girl. And, to me, I have my daughter. I have my kid. This is my daughter. Lily's always going to be my daughter, and she was the daughter from the first day I looked at her look at me through her cage when she held onto it with her claws and she pulled forward and she looked at me. She'll always be my kid. She'll always be my daughter, and I pray by the grace of God that she's only gotten started in her life and that she's got many a time here with me to enjoy because she is the best of the best. So I want to say thank you to the little girl here, Miss Lily, from Canine Kampground and Canine Camp Dog Daycare, and they've done a great job taking care of her over the years as well. They've done so good by her and really treated her like a queen, and I appreciate that so very much. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, and right around the corner of them, 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, you'll have the Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, where each dog gets their own cabin, and they're going to be really busy this week for sure because it's spring break, and so they'll have a bunch of puppies over there doing their thing, and a bunch of big dogs. They have all different types of dogs, and your dog is free to play with them or free to, just kind of hang out by themselves. So every dog has a different personality. Some of them like running around and playing with other dogs. Some like doing it sometimes, and some like just keeping to themselves. So whatever your dog's personality is and whatever they like to do, they're welcome at Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. So make sure you bring them out there today and do right by your furry loving friends. It's a place that you can trust to take care of your dog, and they do a fantastic job, and I appreciate them so much. Lorraine and Chad and the whole team and Heather, I want to thank them for all that they do. So this is my top dog of the week, Miss Lily, brought to you by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. What do you think, Mama? Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay. So Miss Lily, the top dog of the week. She deserves it. So, my daughter, my friend, my family, a blessing from God, and the one who truly has been through so much, knows me so well. There's nobody better. I love you, kid. Love you very much. So for Lily and all the dogs of Central and Upstate New York and all the dogs everywhere, my top dog of the week, coming from Havana, Cuba to Central New York. This is Miss Lily, our top dog of the week. I love you, honey. You big girl. You gaze out. Oh, thank you. So we'll take a step aside for a fast break, and we'll come back right after this inside of the Cafe Kubal studios as Miss Lily is our top dog of the week this week as we celebrate her and all of the fantastic work of K9 Kampground Dog Boarding and K9 Camp Dog Daycare, both in East Syracuse and both your place for your furry loving friends. We'll be back right after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora with plenty more inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. As always, we appreciate you being here, and thank you so much. Coming up at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we will have our special exclusive first interview feature with Marywood University men's soccer head coach Matt Guinto, who will be joining us, like I said, at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So about 10 minutes from now, we will have him on the broadcast, and excited to do the exclusive first interview since his hiring in just a few minutes. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to K9 Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see K9 Kampground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call K9 Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to K9 Kampground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with you every Monday through Friday. Award the acronym Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. And that brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Top dog of the week is truly my top dog, Miss Lily, my daughter. And honoring Lily as the top dog of the week, and a proud thanks to Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And coming up in just a few minutes, we'll round out today's show as we do every Friday with Pacer Pride. Our Pacer Pride special will be featuring Matt Guinto, who will be joining us here for the exclusive first interview since signing on to be the Marywood University men's soccer head coach and starting a new era of Marywood men's soccer. So very excited to have Matt Guinto on the show, a Central New York native and someone who knows what a Kigley is, which is extremely important, very rare and wonderful. And, of course, the new head coach at Marywood. So we're connected by those two things, Marywood and our hometown, and I look forward to sharing the time with him that we're going to have here in just a few minutes, starting at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Very excited that Matt Guinto and I will be able to do his exclusive first interview since becoming the new head coach of Marywood Pacers men's soccer in an all-new Pacer Pride edition. Proudly brought to you inside of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Marywood University. So, with that being said, a note here, I'm excited. Listen, I want to jump to baseball for 1 second. You know, we got to be here for opening day, and it was fitting that Papa Joe and I got to do it, because Papa Joe is a lifetime baseball fan, and him and I were talking about all the woes and all the craziness and trying to figure things out when they were going through the players, you know, trying to figure things out, the owners trying to figure things out, and them not knowing if there was going to be a season, when there was going to be a season, how there was going to be a season. So it was definitely a dicey time for baseball, and we talked about it on our Thursday broadcast, a wake-up call, where I had it up with him and you know, speak with him about all this and the tough times of it all. And then we got to speak about opening day, which was fittingly on a Thursday. And about a week after the season was supposed to actually start. So in the grand scheme of things, with everything we went through and how it all felt like and how it all was looking like, I never thought that it was only just going to start a week late, you know, and so I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful that, you know, God works in awesome ways, and in the fact that Papa Joe and I got to talk about opening day on a typical Thursday, which is when we talk anyway. So it's just fitting that it happened on a Thursday. Give a shout out. Now, Seattle and Minnesota and Boston and New York was postponed, but the Cubs got their first win of the season over the Brewers 5-4 on opening day. The Royals defeated the Guardians, formerly the Cleveland Indians, 3-1. St. Louis shut out Pittsburgh 9-0 at home. The Mets defeated Washington, the Nationals there, 5-1. The Reds defeated the Braves on the road 6-3. The Astros defeated the Angels on the road 3-1. And Arizona won their first game of the season. My Diamondbacks, what up? And they won their first game of the season at home, 4-2 over the Padres inside of their division. Coming up today at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll get Boston Red Sox at the New York Yankees. The game that was supposed to be a part of opening day was moved due to weather, and we will have it today. We have a full slate of games here today. The White Sox at the Tigers. So they'll be added to it. The Oakland A's and the Philadelphia Phillies, they're playing their first games. The Orioles at the Rays, first game for them both. Dodgers at the Rockies, first game for them. Seattle at Minnesota, that was postponed, so first game for both of those teams. Miami at San Fran, first game for them this season. The Rangers and the Blue Jays will play their first game this season, and then all the other teams will continue on their series. So a lot of great stuff happening here on a Friday. Couple games on Apple TV. The Mets at the Nationals, the Astros at the Angels. ESPN Plus has the White Sox at the Tigers, but if you don't have the MLB ticket, you don't get to watch anything else, which is really unfortunate. However, on Saturday, you'll be able to watch the Red Sox at the Yankees at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1. So I know that that's an easier channel to get than others, and you can pick that up this Saturday, April 9th, to see the Yankees face off against the Red Sox in the second game of their series to open up the season. So a lot of great stuff coming forward. And speaking of that, we have a great conversation coming up here with Matt Guinto, the exclusive first conversation since being hired as Marywood's men's soccer head coach. We speak with Matt on a historic time for Marywood soccer, for Marywood University, and of course for this broadcast. So we'll do all of that right after this fast break where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. As always, we appreciate you being here, and we appreciate supporting the companies that support us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and are truly special in our community. You'll hear from them, and then you'll hear from Matt Guinto right after this.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Make sure you make your way out there every Tuesday through Sunday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is the final week of their bistro menu, and so what they do is for a certain time during the year, their indoor dining changes into a bistro menu that changes every single week. That bistro menu is available to you throughout the next couple days, and then it is gone for the season. So make sure you hop out to the Millhouse Market today and find out what's on the bistro menu as you celebrate the final week of the bistro menu. And then, of course, you can continue to dine inside with their menu of sandwiches and pizzas and whatnot that you can still eat on the pizza or on the dining side of things. Then they have the indoor general store as well with local products from local companies, with syrups as well as honeys, soaps, jewelry, and all different things made in our community, paying it forward by helping local businesses through a local business, which is local by local, which is fantastic. And we appreciate all of their awesome items in the general store, and of course the drive-through pickup window where you can grab your food and go. Make sure you make your way out to the Millhouse Market today and enjoy everything that they have to offer you. And I truly cannot thank them enough for all that they bring to the table and just how much they care about each and every single one of us. You know, it means the world to me, and it goes such a long way what they do for us in the community. And the drive-through window, grab your food and go, keep it simple and easy. You can order by calling 315-298-4104. That's 315-298-4104. Or you can simply go to their Millhouse Market app on the Apple app or Google Play Store, download it, and you'll have everything at your fingertips, including directions to the Millhouse Market from wherever you are, because it is absolutely, positively worth the drive every time to 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, to the Millhouse Market. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Cubal Studios. Proud to be here with you on YouTube.com as well as Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, Facebook.com /LiveNowDT as well. That's where you're watching and listening, and you're listening around the world on MixLR.com /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.com. You know that this is part of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Marywood Pacers. It's entitled Pacer Pride. And simply put, it's pride inside of all of those fantastic Pacers. Here with us from the president, Sister Mary Persico, to the executive director of athletics, Pat Murphy, as well as coaches and student athletes and beyond that. So with that being said, I am honored and very privileged to have the opportunity to have the exclusive first interview since his hiring with Matt Guinto here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, the new Marywood Pacers men's soccer head coach. Matt, how you doing today?
Good morning, Dan. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
Absolutely, and happy to have you here, Matt. And so I know doing some research here, looking back on some recent stints for you, obviously with Vassar as the associate head coach and as an assistant coach as well at Utica. What can you tell me about what you've taken away from your coaching stops and what maybe prepared you to be a head coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it goes back further than that, if I can. As a player, as a student of the game, I can remember there was a moment in time where, it occurred to me that there's more to this game than just playing. And it was really my experience in the NPSL, playing with Greater Binghamton Football Club was the team name. And, where I am now, that's just an hour or so up the road. So I was playing there and through that opportunity, got to be involved in the club setup. And I think really learning at that moment what coaching afforded me, as an opportunity to stay involved in the sport that I loved my whole life and make a career out of it was really the first thing that I latched onto. The impact that you could have on young people, both kind of teaching life through football and football through life. And that was my first experience. And then recognizing, I'm a first gen college student. And when I knew I wanted to continue my own education. So Utica University afforded me that opportunity. I stayed connected with Coach Mark Antonio there, who's done an awesome job and taken the program further. And yeah, he gave me the first stop, as you mentioned, and I was able to get my master's degree there while getting 2 seasons under my belt and learning from Coach Brian and, learning from the guys as well, because college is a different beast. And that experience kind of prepared me for the standards, the expectations, the difference in the way you coach. And when I was very fortunate, after a year and a half to jump off to Vassar College, I was working with a guy named Andy Jennings, who has since retired. Congratulations to him. I just want to give him a quick shout out on that. But this guy's been doing it for 40 some odd years. Worked in the England youth setup, the U21 setup when Wayne Rudy and Wayne Routledge were in the team. So when we talk about standards and expectations and knowing your craft, Andy was the bar. And so by being able to work under him and learn from him, it really prepared me, I think, for what it takes to be not only a head coach, but to be a successful head coach. And so those are the things I think, those experiences just provided me a great platform to learn a little bit, about the higher academic world at Vassar, a little bit more, around the middle of the way for Utica University. And I think where I am now at Marywood is a perfect, it's a perfect aggregate of those. So really excited. And those are the kind of lessons I think mostly that just prepared me about what to expect and how to conduct myself as a head coach.
You speak on, taking these pieces to form this foundation, right? To talk to these different people and have these different stops in your life that have helped you to learn what those pillars are as you put the house together, what it means to be a head coach. What are the pillars?
Yeah, it's a good question. I know, the biggest things that I'll take away mostly from my experience, maybe a little bit in hindsight. So when I came into Utica, at Utica University, we were a team that, much like Marywood, as I'm coming into now, we only had 2 wins in the year prior, but there was a lot more quality, which I'm sure we'll get into. There was a lot more quality than necessarily met the eye or that was reflected in the results.
Yeah.
And so I keep saying the word standards, expectations, but what it was organization, communication, discipline, leadership, accountability, all things that transcend sport. They were, and this is a not to pick on this group, at Utica, but when I came in, we only had a 2.79 team GPA. They are very smart, very, very smart guys. Quickly, that went up to a 3.29. So you can increase it incredibly. And it wasn't that they got super bright overnight. They were already very bright guys. It was those skill sets, those disciplines that those are what takes, coaching and a program to the next level. So I would say leadership and accountability are probably the 2 biggest that when I went to Vassar, I noticed the difference. We had an unbelievable group of leaders. We still do in that team. I'm very excited for Coach Hood. Congratulations to him, who's been named as the new head coach there. And I'm sure that he and the guys will go very far. But I would say leadership and accountability. And if I can just add on to that, one thing that that has stuck with me from my experiences was we did a little bit of worked with a sports psychologist named Brittany during my time at Utica University. And we talked about the word grit and what it means. And one of those things that was so, I guess, we all know what the word grit really is, but it's difficult to define it. And what it is perseverance and passion for long-term goals, not being dragged away by all the distractions or not giving up when it gets tough and all of that. But as I said to my guys here at Marywood, this is a word that I think should be kind of representative, indicative of who we are, what we do. And, even if which we did, we turned that into a bit of an acronym. So you asked about the pillars. I think a growth mindset, believing that, skills and development are not fixed. They're developed through challenges and failures and that kind of mindset. It just is a way to frame all of the experiences you're going to have and all the challenges you're going to face. R is as simple as respect. That one's easy. I is integrity. I think I was taught this recently by another coach who means a lot to me, TJ Kostecki from Bard. He's a guy who's helped me along my career the last couple of years. And, he told me, if you have integrity, nothing else matters. If you don't have integrity, nothing else matters. So, doing things the right way, being successful, but being successful the right way. And then lastly is togetherness, and togetherness more than teamwork, because there's, as NCAA has it, 90% of the time these guys spend together is not on the field.
Yeah.
So to be together there off the field and understand that when one guy moves in a direction, he pulls part of the group, and understanding that responsibility and that relationship and the importance of that. Those are all, that's a lot there, but those are all kind of the main staples, the main principles, that the pillars of the program, which will hold us up through all the difficult times.
Here with you in the exclusive first conversation since his hiring, Matt Guinto, here with us, Marywood Pacers men's soccer head coach, here inside of this edition of Pacer Pride on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Matt, you got hired, and within just a few days of being hired, Marywood had its largest fundraiser as a school, and with Marywood Giving Day happening here on March 30th. And so 24 hours, the goal for Marywood as a university was $75,000. Then during the day, they said, okay, let's make it $125 since we hit it. They more than doubled that at over $156,000, over 1,400 donors. I saw that the Marywood men's soccer team had a pretty high goal and went out there and took care of business in such a huge way. How did you come onto how did you go out there, interview for a job, obtain the job, and then have, Pat Murphy say, hey, well, you know what, coming up here, we're going to have Giving Day, and they can give to the program. How did you find a way in such a short amount of time to corral a hope and a desire and a want to help the program when you were just walking in? Because I saw how successful the Marywood men's soccer team did in Giving Day, and I want to congratulate you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, congratulations to the guys and all of the parents and their friends and family who did donate. Thank you. And as you say, we did extremely well, both as a university and as a program. A couple of things that I would say go into that. First, again, my experiences come into play here. When I first joined with Andy at Vassar, my first experience was also a major fundraiser. And, that was my very first, maybe 3 days into that job, we had a massive fundraiser. But I look at anything, it's a competition at the end of the day, and I want to win. Getting the guys, the benefit of what I see here at Marywood are these guys are ready to take that next step. They're chomping at the bit. So it wasn't much work to inspire them or instill some hope and desire in them. They had it. It was just tapping into it. But the thing I think is most important is I was honest with them. I was open and transparent. This is their program. I may be the head coach. I may be at the top of the pyramid, so to speak. But ultimately, this is their program. And they need to feel that ownership. They need to feel that sense of responsibility that, and I said to both them, and I shot out a parents email also, it's important to know what what your program looks like and what the money means. And so as I explained to them, our budget, which Pat gives us, will always afford us what we need as a program, the prerequisites, the balls, the cones, the bibs. We'll never struggle for those things to run a program. But what fundraising does is it doesn't get us what we need, it gets us what we like, what we want. And that could be a goalkeeping coach, a strength and conditioning trainer, Instad, other gear and equipment that elevates these guys' experience and what they take away from here, the amount that it gives to them. And we only do that if we work hard at this fundraising. And so that was really the main message that I sent. And I think them knowing what it did for them, what it meant for them. We talked a little bit about when you are, soliciting for some donations, which is, again, something I've been fortunate enough to be pretty successful with in my time. It's a matter of connecting the money to a purpose. When I was fundraising, as I said, at Vassar, we were fundraising for a major international trip. We took the team over to England, and it was an incredible experience. But you can imagine the amount of money that we needed to generate for that to be, a success. Yeah. And in order to do that, it's about saying, with the money you're giving me, we are going to be able to go as a team to go and tour Anfield at Liverpool. That now gives so much purpose, and people are more willing to donate or generate, give money. And so I think drilling that into the guys wasn't as difficult as it may seem. And they were very excited. They were very excited to do the work. And I just said to them yesterday, we had our first training session for spring ball, which was very exciting. And, at the end of the session, I said, clap yourselves. You should be very proud of the work that you've done and what that $5,000, I think it was $790 or so that we did generate for the program. That's going to go a long way to making a better experience for you, a long way to, you enjoying being part of the program. So, appreciate that. But I would give all the credit to the guys.
How do you come onto a team that you did not recruit and work to build that connection, work to build that belief and confidence in you from them? How do you do that in such a short amount of time? Like you said, I give it to the guys are willing to do it. Sometimes when it comes to building leadership, it takes a long time to get somebody to trust you, right? Have faith in you. Why do you feel that these young men in a short span of time have had trust and faith in you as a leader? What are you showing them, and what are you saying to them that you feel made them buy in when sometimes the buy-in really takes a long time?
Yeah, absolutely. It does. As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. I don't know that I've done anything uniquely special. I've been hyper prepared. This is something I've been working toward, this moment in my career, in my life. I've been working toward for many years, even before Utica. And so it was about focusing all of the work I've done and preparing, what I thought were the major, as you said, pillars, or as the major first steps. As I came in here, we had a team meeting, and I was transparent. I was honest with them. I addressed the elephant in the room, which is, and you alluded to it, getting anybody to buy in and to trust is always difficult, particularly when some of these guys, the seniors, have had 4 coaches in 4 years. And this is a program that had been crying out for stability. And that's we've had some good coaches here. Coach Hunter last year did a great job, and as you said, recruited the guys that I'm coming into. Before that, Coach Velasco, who's now over at King's College. So we've had some very good coaches here, but the stability and what I said to them was, and it's a bit like you're in a relationship, and you invest yourself into that relationship, and you love and you do everything right, but you get your heart broken, and then the next year you get in another relationship and you go again, and eventually, after 2, 3, 4 times of that heartbreak, it becomes difficult to invest yourself. I mean, we're human, so it becomes difficult. You can say, oh, you need to buy in, but it's not that easy, right? Like, there's emotion involved. There's you've been burnt by the stove, and you're a little timid. So what it was with them was addressing that, accepting that, and saying, I don't expect you to, buy into me overnight. But if we want to go the direction that we all want to go, there's only one way, and that's together. So it was, being honest and open with them. In addition to the team meeting, having individual meetings where I just get to know them as a person. That goes a long way, because that's how you start to develop a little bit of an identity between each other, and that trust, that relationship. They know why I'm here. They know that I believe in them. That was one of the main reasons I've come to Marywood, was when I did my research and I looked at the conference, the program, the school as a university, the department as, run by Pat. There's so much here. There's so much here. And I think we have a very high ceiling, even within the group we currently have. And of course, every year, just having come back from Jefferson Cup, every year we're looking to add to that. We need more depth. That is something we do struggle with, having enough guys to train 11v11. But I think by being open and transparent and honest and addressing the realities, the objective truths of this position, of these guys' career, and what we can get out of them, the hope for them. That was, I think, the biggest thing in this first week or so. But really, it's I think yesterday, the success in the giving day and training yesterday were probably the biggest 2 things, because now they see what's there. They understand who I am. They understand what I'm about. The behind the scenes of giving day were emails from me to the group to me, sharing that excitement, adding some personality, adding a little bit of a competitive edge and an attitude of, we sent out the clip of Conor McGregor's post-match, we're not here to take part, we're here to take over. This is an attitude, it's a mentality. Will it happen overnight? No, but we've got to believe. There's no point in not believing. It's easy to not believe because of what we've been through. But we have to believe. And I think that was all. It was really nothing special. I think just open and honest with them, and accepting that they are where they are and I am where I am. And together we're going to go forward.
Matt Guinto here with us in this edition of Pacer Pride on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Cubal studios. Matt, as you said, the cupboard not being left bare from Coach Hunter that was with the team last season. What do you see from these gentlemen that are here? Like you said, you've gotten to work out with them and gotten to, get a little bit there in front of your eyes and to kind of, gauge where certain things are at. How do you look at the cupboard? When you came into this house and they said, hey, you're going to be living here now, the former owner left all this stuff here in the kitchen, and you open up the cupboard to see what you're going to eat for dinner. What's in that cupboard?
Way more than you'd expect. Way more than you'd expect. And I think that's the expectation based on the record, which can be very misleading. Of course, as I've said, the word deserved means very little in our industry, as in athletics. You get what you deserve. If you don't score the goal and you lose the game, then you deserve to lose the game. But I think if you look at that a little bit more abstractly, if you will, I watched a lot of the footage before I even accepted the job. I had conversations with Coach Hunter. I had conversations with Coach Velasco. So even with speaking with them, I knew the bones were really good. I knew that we had a great core and we could do a lot quickly. But when I got in there, even more so was the quality. And so I use that word deserved. You know, I watched those games. Even in the games we lost, you would probably say we deserved a bit more from the game. Ultimately, we don't, because we didn't. But there's a ton of guys who can really play, and that was evident last night. I mean, there was a moment I got very excited because, you know, not knowing exactly what to expect until you see it for yourself. And I can tell you that both of these guys have brought in some very quality players. You know, we've got a player in, you know, I don't want to name individuals, but we've got a couple of guys that should be thinking about, you know, continuing to play in some capacity and some level after college. Guys who should be thinking very optimistically about what we can do as a group, you know, this upcoming fall. There's a lot of talent in there, Dan. There's a lot of guys who are really about it. I think that's probably the greatest compliment I can give both Coach Hunter and Coach Velasco, is that the guys they've recruited, you know, as they describe, some of them are dogs, man. They love to work. They love to get after it. They want to be successful, and they're willing to do all the work. I think for them, it's just been about finding a bit of a footing because of all of the change and the inconsistency, and being able to develop to a style, to an identity, to a position for some of these guys, and then build on their skill sets. I think that's what they're dying for. But in terms of the quality on the field as soccer players, fantastic. The only thing I think that probably outshines that, we got some really awesome guys, some really awesome people, which of course, as you're looking to build a culture, you know, that's where it's really important. These guys, I brought up the word integrity earlier. These are guys that are going to compete. These are guys that are going to push themselves to be as successful as they can, but they're always going to do it with a good demeanor, with a good attitude, good people, you know, good personalities. So I you know, as a guy myself, who I don't want to be around, you know, guys without personality or people who don't, you know, match my values. And so I feel very at home already with the guys that we have in terms of their desire and attitudes. And of course, like I said, the quality of who they are.
Last season, a highly penalized team. How do you address that?
Yeah, that's definitely where we need to improve quickly was our discipline, you know, and I mentioned depth earlier. You know, that didn't help us. You know, there's going to be plenty of adversity that we will face as a group every year. So-and-so has class, or this, you know, family member, you know, has something that's taken them away from the program. So we're missing so-and-so, you know, injuries inevitable from time to time. But the things that we can control is the way that, you know, we respond to certain situations. And I think it goes back to, like I said, it's the pillars, you know, it's the respect, the integrity, the attitude, the mentality, the leadership, the accountability, and accepting that we're in control of ourselves. If there's nothing else that we control, we control how we react to certain situations. And when, you know, it's going to get heated, it will get competitive, it will get intense. We just have to have our heads about us. We have to be, you know, mature. We have to keep our minds, you know, I threw this out there yesterday, who I got from a coworker many years ago. Don't sacrifice what you want the most for what you want in the moment. Sometimes in the moment, some guy's mouthing off and you want to get in. That's just petulant. That's just immaturity. And we need to be better than that. If we want to be in the finals, we know that we need everybody on board to get there. We can't be getting into disciplinary trouble. And so that's something we're very focused on. You know, we've already talked about it as a group. You know, my job as a coach is now to continue to hold them accountable to that standard, you know, and make sure that as a group, we're all moving in that direction. But, you know, I look at Vassar, you know, my experience at Vassar, we had some card issues coming when I came into the program. But as you look at this past year, I think we were second lowest or tied for lowest in terms of cards for any team that made the postseason, which means you're playing more games, which means you're going further. And I think that speaks to the fact that you don't need to, you know, be in all of those, you know, card getting situations to be successful. You know, most of it is avoiding those situations. But it's a maturity piece. It's a bit of, I think, the stability of having a coach who is going to continue to hold them accountable to that will help. But they know this isn't news to them. This isn't a surprise that this is where we need to improve. And so it's about them making the decision and being mature, deciding that it's better to, you know, let that guy mouth off than to get involved. And those will be learning lessons, you know, that we will learn. I'm sure at moments we'll learn in a painful way. And other moments, I'm sure we'll learn in a more supportive, positive way. But we will learn.
Why for you did this opportunity at Marywood University make sense? You and I are both natives of Central New York. We'll talk about that momentarily. I saved that, you know, to the latter part because, you know, you got to put the most important up top. But but looking at the fact that Marywood University had this vacancy, why pursue Marywood?
Yeah. You know, honestly, I'm a first-time head coach. So as an associate head coach at Vassar, it was a very, you know, the program was very, what's the right word? I want to make sure I use the right word here. Collaborative. Everything that we did, Andy and I shared. And that was a real compliment to Andy because, you know, of course, some guys, there's ego, I've been doing this for 40 years and there just wasn't, there wasn't with Andy. You know, he made it very clear he wanted a coach who was not going to agree with him on everything, who would offer a different opinion, who could stand on his own 2 feet and contribute. And that was, you know, that was the difference in a way to Utica, where Utica, I was very fresh. I was still learning. I was still trying to figure out college coaching. And I maybe couldn't offer quite as much that I could when I got to Vassar. But because Andy was so collaborative and I got to take on board all of these different experiences, I felt prepared to go and try my own hand. But I knew that when I was looking for a program, you know, the quality of the program, like I said earlier, the kind of the infrastructure, the bones of the program, will I be able to recruit there? Yes, definitely in Marywood. We have some incredible programs. We have an incredible campus. You know, the athletic facilities are beautiful. There's a lot of positives that, again, maybe you don't intuitively know about. But my job as a recruiter, as a coach, is to connect guys to this opportunity and let them see what's here for them. But between architecture, nursing, PA, you know, exercise science, we have so many programs that are all quality programs. And when I look at the conference, Dan, it's 6 or 7 teams make the postseason. So did we have a good year last year? No. Two wins. Nobody can say that was objectively a good season. They still made the postseason, which is incredible. And as I said, you know, when I watched the film, I watched us play against the eventual champions of the conference, Cabrini. And, you know, we played them to a 2-1 loss here at our place. And we had 3 goalkeepers playing 90 minutes. So do that math. That means that 2 goalkeepers were playing as our 10 and as our right wing for 90 minutes. And that goes back to the depth and the issues we had with discipline, with staying fit, with having enough guys in general. But you think about that. Think about that. We played with 3 goalkeepers and only lost the game by a goal. And as I watched the games, it just felt like this is a program that I can take because I identify with a lot of the same with the players, with the way that they played. And I thought immediately, this is a program that needs stability, needs a direction, needs an identity. And I knew those were things that I could provide. I felt confident in that. And so this spring, what we're really working on is establishing that identity, you know, looking at the 4 phases of play and making sure that we're really solid in each of those. You know, what are we doing when we have the ball, when we turn it over, when we're defending, when we win it back? You know, how are we going to behave? How are we going to attack those situations? And so I felt, you know, honestly felt for a first-time coach, it's a conference that you can win a conference game, 2 conference games, and still put yourself in contention with, and that's a wild thought, because some conferences, certainly the Liberty League, where I came from with Vassar, it wasn't that way. You needed to win 4 or 5 games and put yourself in a position. And it was very difficult at that. And of course, this is not to say that Atlantic East is going to be an easy conference. It's not. There's some very, very good programs. I know some of the head coaches, and I see them constantly on the recruiting trail. So I know we have our work cut out for us. There's no question about it. But it's all to do here, between the players, like I said, the facilities, and really what we can go do. So again, all that's to say, first time head coach, I wanted a place where I could make an impact, where me personally was valuable, not just part of the process, not part of the next coach. I want to make a difference. I want to take a program and make them better. And I think I can do that here. I think this is a similar type of school, type of background that I came from personally. And I know you said we'll talk a little bit about that. But, I get these guys. I understand where they're coming from. And I just felt a real sense, even with speaking with Pat. So I don't know, I'm sure you do know, but Pat played soccer at Marshall, the national champs now. So, to have an AD who is a soccer guy, that helps. That connected me a little bit to the program. And overall, I just felt a real sense of optimism when I left here. When I interviewed here and I left here, I thought, there's so much more than meets the eye. And man, this is a place I could see myself at. And I think that we could do well. The guys in the search committee were three of the guys that, I now know quite well. I didn't know at the time, but immediately could sense, oh, these guys are ready to do it. These guys are really about this. So that excited me. So for those reasons, that's what connected me. And I felt differently about this position. I will say this isn't the only offer I had been fortunate enough to get, but it was the one that connected me to what I valued and what I thought was important and where I felt I could be of the greatest impact. So yeah, that was the major reason of why Marywood. So
Matt Guinto here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Marywood Pacers men's soccer head coach, coming into his first season as a head coach. The excitement of getting to have a program and call it your own. Bring me into that piece of it all. The fact that, this is going to be your first baby, your first kid, right? And you talk about sustainability and longevity and whatnot, and the young men in this program not having a consistency and a coach from season to season. So as much as you're becoming a head coach for the first time ever, how excited are you for that moment to finally be a part of your life? And at the same time, just the build at Marywood and the fact that, this to you is not simply just, oh yeah, I'll give it a season.
Yeah, no, exactly. The first thing is there's so much work, man, that goes into this career, and it's such a grind. The recruiting trail, like we said, and the practice. I mean, it's everything. It's a grind, and this isn't exclusive to me by any means. This is every coach in this industry. So, you do all that work, and when you finally happened, when I got that phone call and when you get the offer and, when I accepted, my first thought was my family, was my parents, the amount of sacrifice that they've put in throughout their lives, throughout my life, which ultimately has all brought me here. And that fills me with a lot of pride, but also a lot of motivation, because, okay, it's one thing to arrive. Now it's another thing to be successful.
Yeah.
And so I know, and again, there's no disillusions. While I'm excited about the core, while I'm excited about, like I've said so many times, the bones of the program, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. I've made that clear to the guys. But that work is an exciting challenge. It's if we're not up for that, then maybe we're not maybe we're not in the right industry, maybe we're not in the right field, because that's what this job is. This job is constant evaluation, constant development, constant movement and progression forward. If you're stagnant, you're moving backwards in this industry, in this field. So we need to, and we have, hit the ground running and really develop. And as you said, and as we mentioned earlier, it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
There's no way. We have to be measured and methodical about the amount of change that we try to implement, how quickly. In recruiting, we want to add depth, but if we bring in 25 guys, the soul of the group is no longer a Marywood soul. It's different. And what does that do to the culture? What does that do to the team? There's a lot of those sort of decisions, and sometimes you make a best guess and you push on with an idea that you decide is what's best, but you aren't sure. You aren't sure. You kind of hindsight's 2020. Sometimes after you go, I wish I would have done this, but I think you make the best decisions with your heart that you stand by, and that's all you can do. And like you said, over years, over 2, 3, 4 years, you bring in guys who match your values, match your personality, and you continue to build that identity on the field. And that's the building process that you said over time. Having, like you said, having a program that's mine, it's not something that I necessarily even view as mine, because I certainly am not the one kicking the soccer balls. I'm not the one. It's theirs. It's ours. And we make decisions. We collaborate. We discuss. Everything. Every part of this program is up for discussion in a sense. Ultimately, the buck has to stop somewhere, and that's where my coming in confident in what I'm about and how I want to conduct myself or how I want us to be as a program. That's important because I'm not, ultimately I know the direction I want us to go in. But when you think about building a program, you need to make it reflect you. And that takes time. But I would say that there's just tons of excitement for the challenge and optimism that the work we need to do is work we can do. And, well, anyways, we'll see what comes from it next fall, of course. But I couldn't be more optimistic at this time.
That coming from Matt Guinto here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of our Pacer Pride special, celebrating the hiring of the Marywood University Pacers men's soccer head coach here and taking us into a new era with Matt Guinto. Matt, before I let you go, as we alluded to before, you and I are proud Central New Yorkers, and coming from Central New York, I went to Marywood University. I am more than happy to tell them about upstate New York and Central New York and just, coming up here and looking for talent and whatnot. You and I spoke off the air about having a connection, obviously, here with schooling and with understanding a lot of the similar places like Eastwood and whatnot. What can you tell me about Central and upstate New York pride, in your opinion?
Yeah, sometimes you wonder where it comes from, why it's so strong. But I think I'll tell you, one thing is the winters. The winters are tough and a lot of snow, as you know. But I think that adds a little bit of edge, a little bit of a mentality to most people. And, whether I can remember in high school, the amount of support around, Syracuse University basketball, this again, it's telling our age a little bit, but, remember when Carmelo brought us, with GMAC and all them brought us to the title, and the amount of pride around that university. And that was something that really kind of was it stood out to me, that level of pride, which you see every day on television in the soccer leagues around the world. But in general, I think if you're from Central New York, and I would say this extends as far as Utica, for me, it's really Syracuse, of course. But there's just, where you're from. That's the biggest thing is I go home to that area, and it's an unbelievable thing to see people I grew up with still in the same house that their parents owned. My parents owned the house that my grandparents lived in. Yeah. It is very much that type of place. People from all different backgrounds, all different ethnicities, nationalities, walks of life. It's very much a melting pot, and it creates just a very unique and special identity. It's a unique place, but it's a place that I'm very fond, and I know you said the same thing, to call home and to go home to, and it feels like home. The neighborhoods, the fact that I could touch my neighbor's house and my house at the same time, standing there growing up was, we didn't have all this land, all this property. You know everybody. They're very much your neighbor. And it created a community feel. So I think you take all those things away, and I think about who I am now. And again, maybe I haven't even thought so much consciously until you've asked this question, but I'm sure that's part of why I am how I am. The fact that I say hi to my neighbors, and when I walk into an office, I say hi to anybody I can see. I'm a social guy. I think it just all comes from the upbringing I had, the background. And as I mentioned earlier, my first thought was my family. I think that goes back to the roots that I come from. But overall, Central New York is, a special place, and it's not for the faint of heart sometimes, but it is a special place.
We do a thing on the show called Rapid Fire. I'm going to do a Central New York Rapid Fire, which I've never done before. Throw a bunch of things at you here. First thing that comes to mind when I say it: best bakery in Central New York.
Lincourt Bakery.
That is the correct answer.
That is correct. That's absolutely the correct answer. Rest in peace to my grandfather. That man was a chef by trade for his whole life. And many times he could not eat somewhere else because he just didn't like the way they made stuff. But man, that guy loved Lincourt Bakery. So we would grab him all the sweets, all the donuts, all the bread, and obviously it's still a family tradition. As long as you're willing to wait in line. Like I said, that's one of those things that's unique about CNY. This little mom and pop type of bakery that's been there for however long, for as long as Eastwood's been around, probably. And, you get a line of 20, 30, 40, 50 people out the door, and you have to wait to get your goods. I know that's not rapid fire, but definitely Lincourt Bakery.
How would you describe the word Kigley to someone who is not from Central New York?
You don't explain it. You just bring them to Central New York and let them figure it out for themselves.
I like that. That's a good answer. Favorite donut at Lincourt Bakery? This is probably one of the toughest questions you'll ever endure in your life.
Yeah, it is. They have the really good, what is it? I think they have really good apple fritters, but they also have very good peanut donuts. And I know I like the peanut donut. But that is a tough one. I mean, the Half Moon, of course, because that's a Central New York originated thing. I think that's out of Utica originally. I got to go with those three.
Yeah, and I'm still very concerned about the people of Long Island that refer to them as black and whites. They're called Half Moons.
I'm glad you know it. We can't save everybody, Dan.
No, you can't save everybody. Try to save one or two. Best restaurant in Central New York?
I don't want to be the guy who makes it easy, but there's something special and unique, I think, about Dinosaur Barbecue as we think about Central New York. That's just such a staple. I'm sure I'm overlooking one or two other very big ones. Postabilities is a great restaurant.
Mother's Cupboard, known all around the world.
Mother's Cupboard is one of those as sweaty spoons. I know it's greasy spoon, but when I was really, really little, I didn't understand the difference. And my dad and we used to go there all the time before it got on diners, drive-ins, and dives, or whatever that is. And then, of course, it became very popular. But yeah, Mother's Cupboard, Eastwood, absolute class. Been there for a long time.
Favorite place to go in Central New York when you just want some peace? Where would you drive to?
Yeah, so funny answer. So I graduated from Manly's Pebble Hill. Yeah. And I look back on those memories. Not everyone looks back on high school so fondly as I do. I couldn't have enjoyed my experience more. The friends that I had there, just every day going to school was such a blessing. I was so excited every day. And they're, still going back toward that campus, going back to spend time at the places I spent with my friends back at that time brings me a ton of peace. Whether it's the, Wegmans and DeWitt, which is, not where most people find peace because it's an absolute zoo over there.
Always.
But, but there's something particularly as you get later at night, there was not many places open in Syracuse, as a young kid. And it was like, I'm looking to do something. And we would just go and it sounds so boring, but hang out at Wegmans. We would go and sit on the playground at Moses DeWitt, just down the road from Manly's Pebble Hill. But we spent time together, and that was all that we were really looking to do. But so I would say those were the places that kind of bring me a little bit of peace.
Right by Manly's Pebble Hill is right by the longest standing Carvel franchise in America, Carvel DeWitt. So I have to ask you this: favorite ice cream flavor?
Gosh, you are hitting the big questions.
Funny, the leadership stuff. It's like,
yeah, that was easy.
You got minutes of stuff to go off of. You're just from the heart. This is everything I've learned over the years. Favorite ice cream? You're like, I'm going to need about 5 minutes for this one.
Yeah. I mean, just not to be boring, but I do like a simple chocolate chip cookie dough.
Okay.
It's just as steady and consistently good, and no matter what.
My favorite, so that is also the correct answer. So
I'm good. I'm getting 100 so far.
Best thing to get at Wegmans, like best thing to order.
Wow. Couple of go-tos. The sushi is very good. It's a slept-on product that comes out of Wegmans. You're going to get Danny's favorite. Shout out Danny Wegmans. I don't know him. I don't know why I shouted him out. But he makes a heck of a sub. I love a Danny special. Danny's favorites, I think, is what it is.
Yeah.
And then, of course, back when Wegmans still had the bulk candy foods, just being able to go and grab a bunch of sour candy. I'm a big sour candy guy.
Yeah.
Load those bad boys up and, keep it in the car for about a week. So
you shouted out Danny, as so many of us do, in hopes that one day we'll get a free sub. So
exactly.
Couple more here. Driving around Central New York as a kid, what song on the radio do you remember, being in Syracuse and whatnot and going to school? When you're driving back and forth to school, what was a song that you blared all the time?
Yeah. I have to give a unique shout out. Another Night, Another Dream. I should know who sings it. It's not Ace of Base, but it's around that time period. Not another night, another dream, but always you. You know the song.
Yeah.
The Boulevard, Erie Boulevard, of course, being such a famous piece of the area. We were always on it, and as I said, there wasn't always a lot to do in the area for young kids, 17, 18, but we just graduated high school and can remember we would just drive around the boulevard, and that song seemed to be, even though it wasn't popular at the time, we brought it back. And we just had we were having fun, windows down, dancing and pointing at people in other cars, just having a good time, being goofballs. But that song kind of became a bit of like a song for us as a group, that we had fun too. And then in terms of soccer, I would say, funny, I guess, enough for, guys coming up from MPH, but I can remember with the boom box walking off of the bus and having, different songs like, Soul Survivor by Akon and Jeezy. So a little bit of everything, honestly, but those were some songs, I guess, that definitely stick out.
Real McCoy.
Yes, the Real McCoy. Thank you. There it is. That's it. Yeah, Not Another Night, and Always You. Yeah, it's perfect.
Final Central New York rapid fire. Favorite part of the mall? Because you got to go back to Carousel Mall now.
And that's exactly what I was just doing in my head, was like, when you say mall, I know you meant Destiny. But in my heart, when I was growing up, it was all shopping town. Carousel was not the mall that I would go to that mall with my parents. But when it went to, walking around and going to the movies and, shopping town was closer. It was easier to get to. It was less, crowded. It was I don't know, more community in a way.
Yeah.
So I spent some time at shopping town, which, as you know now I think is fully closed. I don't think there's much in that mall anymore. So I don't know what their plans are with it. But, at Carousel, Destiny, the best part has to be Dave & Buster's now. I enjoy the Dave & Buster's environment. So I like that. I also think Funny Bone is a cool spot. I don't know if you've been to Funny Bone yet in Destiny, but have dinner, have a drink, and enjoy a stand-up bit. That's very fun. I have to say too, my nephew likes the ropes courses and the go-karts and the trampoline park. So I should say, while I still reflect fondly on Carousel, they have done a nice job with Destiny. I got to admit.
I have to throw a bonus one in here. Is there a local company commercial that you just could never forget? Because I have one in mind, I feel like most people say, but a person or a company from Central New York that we saw on television, especially during games too, all the time, that you just can't get out of your head.
So many. Duncan O'Bright. That was one. I did go to school with Joe Bright for a year or two, I think, at MPH. So that one stuck out. Sam's Auto Body. I also went to school with Samantha Vigilati, and I can remember being so young and seeing her ride up in her little, motorized car, one of the ones that kids drive, and better call Sam's Auto Body. So we would, anytime there was an accident, a spill, and someone inevitably would finish it off with better call Sam's Auto Body. So, which is the one you're thinking of?
I'm thinking of, well, there's a couple, I think was it LensCrafter? I know the Industrial Color Lab. Is that the one?
Probably.
So that one stuck out to me. And then also Goldberg's The Money Saver, We're Going to Save You More, the furniture. Yep. Always was playing during TGIF on ABC. And then definitely Billy Fusillo, rest in peace.
That was the other one, but that's bigger, unfortunately, than even just Syracuse.
Yeah, no, it is in a big way. So you helped me to not only have the opportunity to talk Marywood, but to also link it back to Central New York. And now there's somebody at Marywood University that can understand all of the undertones of me. So, which is a great thing. I mean, we've been able to build so many relationships with coaches there, and I love being around the whole staff and the athletic department at Marywood in general. But now I already know that I have a built-in inside joke guy that I don't have to they say it takes a long time to build in that friendship or that connection. I now know that I have these built-in jokes that I don't have to worry about spending the time to have to tell everybody what a Kigley is and how you spell it and what it means.
Like I told you, don't bother. Don't even give it to them. Either they figure it out for themselves or they don't get to know.
Yeah. Oh, you mean an eclair? No, there's nothing in it. Well, it sounds boring. It's not boring. But I don't know if you would definitely like it. But how do you know? Because I had to bring them to people in Florida. Yeah. I remember taking them to my great aunt Dorothy, 50 of them. 40 were chocolate, 10 were vanilla. And that was only to be kind to the people that we didn't take all their chocolate because she didn't really eat the vanilla ones. And we put it, I still remember this. We went down to Florida and put the box in the overhead compartment and brought her down those donuts. And she ate 5 within the first half hour of being with us. And she weighed about 89 pounds. So,
well, and there you go. So there's the shout out that's all you need to hear. That's the glowing advertisement right there for those. I mean, again, you can lead a horse to water, man. But if they don't want to try it out for themselves, then I said, we can't save everybody.
You can lead it. Dan, go ahead.
Nobody gets you like I do, Dan. That's the thing. Nobody understands you like I do. And so I can imagine we'll have plenty more CNY calls throughout the years.
Yeah, you get me. So with that being said, Matt Guinto, proudly as the exclusive first conversation since you were given this opportunity here at Marywood University to become the men's soccer head coach, I want to say congratulations. Thank you for an opportunity to have an unedited, unfiltered, just true look at who the head coach is of Marywood Pacers men's soccer now and what the vision is. I am very excited and invigorated by this conversation. I know that's a word that we've talked about recently here. So I look forward to everything you're going to bring to the table. And I very much want to say officially, congratulations. And I cannot wait to see what you do.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on. And yeah, just couldn't be more excited myself, and would love to see you, of course, at a couple of the games and have maybe a chance to get a couple of guys on the show. I don't know if that's something we do, but really appreciate you having me, and it was a great, fun conversation this morning. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And we'd be more than happy to not only be out at a game, but to also make sure that we have these gentlemen representing your program on the show.
Brilliant. Love it.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, sir. That coming once again from Matt Guinto, the Marywood Pacers men's soccer head coach, named the head coach here, and then came on to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora to share that exclusive first conversation, and very happy to have Matt Guinto on the broadcast, and very happy to have him at Marywood University. So appreciate the time, and a big shout out to Matt Guinto, to Marywood men's soccer, to all that they were able to raise, to the fantastic people that helped them to do that, and to what's to come with the Marywood Pacers and Marywood University in general. With that being stated, I want to thank you all for listening in and watching today's broadcast of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', getting the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Lead with Juanita Ward and myself, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, standing for Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. And of course, honoring my little Lily, my daughter, as the top dog of the week, literally and figuratively. So big ups to Lily for that. Brought to you by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, the places to bring your furry loving friend. And of course, a big shout out once again to Matt Guinto, the Marywood University Pacers men's soccer head coach. And a big thanks to him for allowing me to have the exclusive first interview in our multimedia marketing partnership as we spotlight the Marywood Pacers in a way that's never been done before. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is brought to you Monday through Friday from 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You're watching on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as facebook.com/livenowdt. And of course, you're listening worldwide on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt and on wakeupcalldt.com. Of course, once the shows go live, you can find them in our archive by going to MixLR, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podbean, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And of course, a proud thanks to all of our Central and Upstate New York partners: Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, PB&J's Lunchbox, Honda City of Liverpool, Avicoli's, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. Go to maandpazpopcorn.com. That's maandpazpopcorn.com from any one of the 50 states today, and you can have it delivered to your doorstep. You can also go see them and enjoy all that they have to offer on-site, on location, with a full array of all their products at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, right off the thruway and the highway, and not too far from downtown, as well as Destiny, USA. So head off to Ma and Pa's today on 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. K9 Camp Dog Daycare, Pizza Man, K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, the Millhouse Market, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, and of course, Mother's Cabin, where we have our food challenges every single month with awesome and incredible guests. And of course, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is your proud multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. That spins up every single week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Set the dial to Dolphin Time, and every first and third Wednesday, we feature AD and DT with Athletics Director of Lemoyne, Bob Beretta, and myself, Dan Tortora. And of course, every second and fourth Wednesday, we have the Dolphin Dive, where we dive into the stories of student athletes as well as future Dolphins, alumni, administration, and coaches that are connected with the Lemoyne College Dolphins and the Dolphin Way. So very excited to share those with you every single month. You can see the archive of all of that by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and clicking subscribe. You can also go to the Lemoyne tab of wakeupcalldt.com. And of course, our exclusive conversation on reclassification and realignment, how Lemoyne is looking at staying in Division 2, also at looking at moving to Division 1 or Division 3. That exclusive conversation with AD Bob Beretta is now airing on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and it will be added as well to wakeupcalldt.com. Go to LeMoyneDolphins.com for more information. The Marywood University Pacers are also exclusive multimedia marketing partners here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. It is Pacer Pride every single month and every single week. And of course, we just had our Pacer Pride for You, which airs Fridays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, giving unprecedented, uninterrupted coverage of the Marywood Pacers, unlike any other time in their history. And I want to thank Matt Guinto and everybody who's joined us, including the president of Marywood University, Sister Mary Persico, as well as Executive Director of Athletics, Pat Murphy, and all of our coaches and student athletes. We look forward to telling the stories of Marywood in a unique way that you will find nowhere else. And we always appreciate Marywood University for allowing us the opportunity to shed some light on what was a hidden gem when I chose Marywood, and I don't want it to be a hidden gem. I want to polish that gem, and I want to put it on display for everybody to see. Marywood Pacers content can be found on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, on the Marywood tab on wakeupcalldt.com, and of course you can get more information by going to marywoodpacers.com. The Bryan and Stratton College Syracuse Bobcats are also exclusive multimedia marketing partners of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. Bobcat Buzz comes to you every single month, telling you what's going on the Bryan and Stratton College campus and inside of their athletic department. You have heard from athletic director, men's soccer head coach, and national champion Nick Dmitrievsky, as well as assistant athletic director, women's soccer head coach, and national champion Alex Grigorita. And of course, you've heard in his time building the program and all the way through, and the exclusive conversation on the heels of him moving forward from the program. Dan Frisina has been with us with men's basketball. Clay Gagan-Sherman, the first ever women's basketball head coach at Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, has joined us all the way through, and he moved over to be the men's basketball head coach and just did the exclusive first interview for that on-site on location at Mother's Cupboard, a staple of Syracuse, on 3709 James Street in Syracuse, New York. And of course, we've had Sean Peak, who's starting the baseball program, and so many wonderful things to come. Our Bobcat Buzz specials air throughout each month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we have a great live on-site on location event happening very soon here with the Bobcats on site at Cafe Kubal in just a couple weeks here. So make sure you stay close to our social media to find out what that's going to be. And as always, go Bobcats. You can find out more information. Well, you can find all of our specials by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, on the BSC SYR tab on wakeupcalldt.com. And of course, you can find out all about your Bobcats by going to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, truly, for watching and listening every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I cannot thank you enough. You have been an incredible part of my life, incredible part of my history, and I just thank God. I thank my loved ones. I thank my little pup. I thank my incredible partner, because she is phenomenal. Shout out to Carrie. I thank my parents, my grandparents, and all my friends, and I thank you. So for now, from Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, you will have plenty to find on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, wakeupcalldt.com, and of course on facebook.com, Facebook at wakeupcalldt, Twitter at calldt, and Instagram at wakeupcall_DT. I got a new thing being unveiled at PB&J's Lunchbox. You don't want to miss out on what that is. I just put up a picture for that on each of our social medias, and of course you could check all of that out 24/7 thanks to Cafe Kubal and all you have to offer. Cafe Kubal available for us on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, and of course inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse, the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners, inside of their drive-through location and 343 Fayette Street in the double-decker cafe in the giant behemoth of a brown stripe building that welcomes you in to Manlius. You cannot miss it on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. So, thank you to Cafe Kubal. I'm filling my cup up right today. I hope you will too. God bless. No stress. Do your best. Keep smiling. Keep shining. And know you can always count on the big guy upstairs. Thank you, God, for everything. God first and God always. Have a great day. God bless you all.